What's up, guys? Today we have a really good guest. I don't even know how do I even introduce you, Carla? I feel like you're a jack of all trades. I can't like pinpoint one thing on you anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. For purposes of this, I am the Dum Dum Die game master and goblin of all trades.
Okay.
And generally in life, I run YouTube for a living for
Okay.
multi-choice.
Awesome.
So,
So you've got a really cool concept that I feel like we needed to promote and get out there, and I feel a lot of people need to know about what you're doing, especially because there's a really strong female focus on this. So introduce everything to us. I mean, I know a little bit about it, so I feel like you are obviously the best person to explain everything to us, and obviously what it's about, how they can get involved.
sure. So basically, Dum Dum Die is an all-female, all-awesome D&D 5th edition homebrew. So that means
Yeah.
I made everything using the D&D rule systems. It initially was a podcast. It started as a podcast 2 years ago. It still
Yeah.
runs as a podcast, but we've now added Twitch streaming every Tuesday night at
Nice.
7:15 as part of our repertoire, and we let the chat get involved in the game. So if the players say something like, "Oh, isn't there a light?" then the chat can say to me, "Yes, there is a light, but it's attached to a mimic." So the chat helps me GM
Yeah.
and helps or hinders the players. Mostly hinders, but they could help if they wanted. And yeah, we've basically been going strong for 2 years. We've been running the role-playing sections at the Comic Cons. We've
Yes.
been helping timeless board games out with their role-playing days.
Yes.
We've hosted charity role-playing days, some charity live streams. We've also played for Wizards of the Coast's official podcast for the
Yep.
launch of Rat. And hashtag humble brag, not humble.
So
And
tell me,
yeah.
where did the concept where did you conceptualize the fact that it had to be a female strong cast, and why? What was the motivation behind that?
So the interesting thing is, Dum Dum Die actually started as a thesis project for
Okay.
one of our friends
Oh wow.
over to London, and so they're not as involved.
Yeah.
But basically, he doing his thesis on improvisational play as theater, and
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh, I want to try and run a podcast,"
Hmm.
and he approached people who were looking to play, but he thought, why not try and see what it looks like from a different angle as well? So not only from what does improvisational play look like as theater, but also what does it look like by players who are technically not the norm.
Yeah.
So he was looking for female players, and then he initially got us all together and brought people who had some sort of acting background.
Yeah.
Now we just generally are looking for usually female players. We do let guy players come in, or people who have no gender. They don't choose a gender.
Okay.
So like, we're not saying guys can't play with us, but we just do prefer to play with other women, because, and this has been something that we've been seeing from our community and things, is people like to see themselves, and when they see themselves, they can imagine themselves playing the game.
Yeah.
And when they see, Wednesday, or they see Nelly, who are also people of color, they think like, this is for everyone. You don't just need to be, and it can be quite intimidating generally when you walk into a table full of guys compared to walking into a table full of girls.
Okay. All right. I know obviously, like, you guys are on social, you're pretty much on Twitch, and you stream a lot of the stuff, right? But in the age that we're currently in, do you find that there's an increase of people that wanna get involved? Do you find that there's an increase in your viewership? Do you find that your engagements have increased? And do you feel like Dungeons and Dragons online is going in the right direction at the same time?
Yeah, I think maybe what's of interest is before I did Dum Dum Die, for about 2 years, I was part of How to Be a Great Game Master, which is a really great YouTube channel
Yeah.
online. And so I was in the industry, inverted commas, 2 years before, but really when
Yeah.
Dum Dum Die sort of started, it's when Critical Role really started becoming really, really popular.
Yeah.
Stranger Things came and really like socialized Dungeons and Dragons with people who weren't used to it.
Yeah.
So I think there's been a boom in Dungeons and Dragons worldwide. But
Yeah.
I think South Africa, and I'm obviously this is a chat with Comic Con, but this isn't like a trying to win brownie points with Comic Con. But I think like the role playing section there, because there were so many people and they had the opportunity to walk past. Maybe they didn't all play. Some of them played at Timeless Board Games. Some of them played at Unplug Yourself. Some of them played in our section. And we started, and I was given 4 tables, and I was like, "Yo, guys, I don't know if we're gonna fill 4 tables." Hey? So I told the GMs, I was like, "Look, if no one comes for your game in like 15 minutes, you can go. It's fine. Thanks for being here." Literally had a waiting list.
Oh, wow.
An email list. The past year we had 8 tables. Also, once again, waiting list.
Yeah.
Added a table. So I just think there's such a huge appetite for it, and we see it in the open day because this is how I got into D&D as well. Is you can't get into like D&D is it's this weird thing of it's complicated. It's really simple if you've played it once.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But if you've never played it, it looks like how do you even?
It looks, from my perspective, not knowing D&D before, like it looks so complex when you look at it. But I mean, like in South Africa, we live in such a creative industry, or in such a creative country, that games like or spaces like Dungeons and Dragons or role-playing games should be so free because of the creativity that we have as a country as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're used to telling stories.
Yeah.
Regardless. And it should work. But the thing is, when you see the paper, when you see the dice, when you see what you think is a lot of math, you're ooh, very scary.
Yeah.
But if you have we've kind of found D&D is kind of a little bit like drugs. So first taste, you get your first taste, and then you're like, yeah, I'm totally excited to play.
Yeah.
Because you've had an influence of it. And the problem is, and this was the problem with Dungeons and Dragons previously, is you need to know someone who knew how to play the game to teach you. Whereas now you can watch YouTube, you can watch Twitch, you can listen to podcasts, you can go to events. And I think that's really why Dungeons and Dragons has grown so much, because you don't need to know someone who plays Dungeons and Dragons to find out about it if you're interested.
Yeah. Do you feel like putting it out digitally now? Like obviously everybody's online now because it's a bit of the lockdown situation. But do you feel like putting Dungeons and Dragons online is better than the traditional means of Dungeons and Dragons as well?
I think it's good. That's why it grew so much, because it's taking it out of people's homes and sharing the stories with other people. Because as much as when I'll let's say I meet you at a coffee shop or whatever, and we're hanging out, and I'm like, oh yeah, and then my character did this really cool thing. If you're not there to experience the entire table play, or understand a little bit, you're like, oh, cool story, bro. Can we wrap this story up?
Yeah.
But when people can see the playing, understand how it actually fits together, I think it creates it. And unfortunately, we can't have people come to my weekly game at my house and watch it. So it must be digital. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So you've told us about the interesting side of what happens, how it gets done. But now tell us where people can find you. And I'm sure there's so many people that are watching this now that are like, tell me more. Where can I find it? Where do I search? When are you streaming? And how can they get involved?
Sure. So we're Dum Dum Die, spelled Dumdumdie, like the sound dum dum da. And you can find us on all the socials. Basically, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Insta as Dum Dum Die. We're also on Twitch as Dum Dum Die, and you can find us there on Tuesday nights, 7:15 p.m. usually. And we also are on all your favorite podcast apps as Dum Dum Die. Those are released every Wednesday. And yeah, that's where we are. And we appreciate everyone who listens. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And watches.
I definitely think you'll get a few people that are so keen. I mean, I'm keen myself, so I'll be there 15 on Tuesday.
Please do. Throw fire at it.
Yeah. Also, are you? I think the one question maybe some people out there trying to find out is: are you recruiting? Are there spots for anybody to join in and jump on board?
Yeah. So currently, we because it's lockdown, we have a player who's joined us for about 3-4 weeks.
Nice.
But after that, we're going to be recruiting players for maybe about 4 sessions at a time, 3 sessions at a time.
Yeah.
Because to find a permanent player for that time is hard, but also it's really great to play with new people and to get new people into the game, because that's the one thing Dum Dum Die really does want to do is make it open for everyone and get more people involved. Yeah. So if a player who likes a lot of funds and sort of malleable rules, come join us.
This is your spot. This is your space. Well, Carla, thank you so much for taking the time out to have a chat with us. I definitely think there's going to be a lot more people jumping on board on Tuesday night at 7:15. Twitch,
7:15,
Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. Every single podcast app you can find, you'll find Dum Dum Die. So obviously, just be on the socials and just try and find them. I mean, that's where you want to be. And like Carla mentioned before, it's obviously not open. It's not only open to girls only. It's the guys. It's open. So let's get on board and have a look at her. And thank you so much for joining us, Carla.
No, thank you for inviting me. And we'll see everyone at Comic-Con. We will have a role-playing section. So if you'd like to try it out, we will see you there.
See you guys then. Cheers.